Live Drive.
Some music creators say they're missing out on hundreds of millions of pounds a year because songs aren't being credited properly on streaming services. And today, the government and the music industry, they've announced plans to improve how streaming sites track who's written and produced songs. And it's to help make sure royalties are going to the right people. Here's the record producer and co-founder of Chic, Nile Rodgers.
I put out a record with an artist and he had 5 million streams, and 5 million streams was meaningless. And it's incredible that a number like 5 million or 10 million can be meaningless as far as what you take out economically. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's something Nile Rodgers is absolutely passionate about, and I like now to call him a friend of the show because he's coming on again live, very excitingly, at 6:45 tonight. We'll speak to Nile Rodgers. For now, though...
Well, what you just heard was the Pocket Gods, and last year they released an album of 1,030-second songs. It's a part of their campaign for fairer streaming royalties. Mark Christopher Lee is the frontman of the band. Mark, good afternoon. 30 seconds of that song there. We got to play it in its entirety on the station, which is rare. But what do you make of today's announcement?
Yeah, it's positive. It's going in the right direction. But I just wonder if we'll get any meaningful action out of it at the end of the day. These issues have been going on a long time, basically since the internet came along, and the music industry has been playing catch up ever since. But we have to remain optimistic.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned, the internet and how it's revolutionised the way we listen to music. We no longer have to pop down to a shop like Our Price and pick up a cassette or a CD. You just pop on you download an app and off you go. You can listen to any song from anywhere in the world at any time you like. But in terms of what the artists make from that, how much do you actually make from streaming? So if a song is streamed, what percentage of that do you get?
Well, this is why we started the campaign in the first place back in 2019. We realised we were just getting around about 0.007 pence per stream, which is like a crazily small amount. And then we realised that you get paid after a song reaches 30 seconds. So I thought, why write longer songs? So we just released album after album of 30-second songs, culminating last year, like you said, with the album of 1,000 songs on, all 30 seconds long, with the serious issue behind it that we're not getting paid enough. And now the royalty rate is decreased even further. That album, we've had about 1.6 million streams, and we've received around about £300.
Wow. And it doesn't even seem, well, I guess for you as an artist, of course, it's a passion. But for anyone looking at this from a perspective of trying to make some money, it doesn't even seem like it's worth it. How do you keep your motivation knowing that actually you're not getting anything back from this?
Yeah, it is tricky. And I've, met with the likes of Spotify and discussed these issues with them. And basically, they're saying they're paying over already 70% of the money they receive. So there's nothing else. There's no more money there to pay out to artists. So, we've got this working group now. The government's just announced today that we'll look into how artists get paid. But the money's got to come from somewhere. And after campaigning for such a long time, I've realised that we need to include the consumer in this debate, people who actually listen to music, pay for music streaming services. Maybe we all need to value music and creators more, and maybe we're going to have to pay more.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you that. Should we be paying more for music? I guess, a standard streaming service, you pay in and around between, £10 to £12 a month. Should that double, triple in your opinion, if you really value the music?
Possibly. I mean, it goes back to when the internet first started, that music became free, basically. We had Napster, then we had YouTube, and people have got used to streaming or getting music for free or for very, very little. And it's great. I don't want to disinvent music streaming. It's brilliant. I use it. I release all my music on it. I believe it's a fantastic service. but it's where it evolves to the next level. And I think maybe we do need to pay more. I mean, people don't want to hear that at the moment. It's a cost of living crisis. But, you know, music and art are very, very important to us as a nation. And where would we be without music?
Mark, it's Tony here. You've got me fascinated with the notion of a 30-second song. And I'm just wondering, if like some of the greatest hits of all time could be distilled down into 30 seconds and whether that might be where we end up. I know we've got classic, Bat Out of Hell's one of the longest songs ever made, but my favourite genre, punk, they got it over in a minute and a half sometimes. Is there anything in that, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what we've done with the 30-second song is basically boiled it down to a couple of choruses. Yeah. The catchiest, the hook bits, which is what punk was great for as well. So, yeah, you got something there, but I don't think we're going to take on Stairway to Heaven just yet.
Well, just the best bits. I don't know. Maybe the 30-second version of Stairway to Heaven might be decent. Look, I don't think there's any music lover who's not supporting your campaign because you know, if you were any kind of creativity needs reward. Otherwise, what's the incentive? You know, I know it's the fame and standing on stage, but if you ain't getting paid and you can't open a tin of soup, then there's not much point to it, is there?
Well, it's trying to encourage, you know, the artists of tomorrow, really. To get them to come through still, because what, you know, people like Spotify are saying is that, oh, maybe you should go out on tour, earn money from touring. But the thing is, touring doesn't pay anymore. It's really, really difficult, expensive, especially for independent young artists coming through. I mean, I used to be able to just pop on the Eurostar over to Belgium and play a gig. I can't do that anymore. It's not that easy.
Yeah, and that's what I've been hearing, that touring, where it used to be the bit of a banker, actually now it's just become very expensive for any artist to be able to do it. Well, Mark, we wish you the best of luck. I'm now going to go and stream all of your 30-second songs. I'm excited to go and have a listen now. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
That's a hell of a lot of melodies to come up, isn't it? To come up with as well.
30 seconds.
It took me a while.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well done, Mark.
Brilliant stuff.
Tony.
That's Mark Christopher there, frontman of the Pocket Gods.
That's
great name as well.
Yeah, have a listen to him. Yeah, there's 1,000 30-second songs, but that's interesting. Could all the greatest hits in the world be distilled down into 30 seconds and still be as good? In other words, how much time have we wasted listening to music over the years?
No, you've got like incredible guitar solos that last 45 seconds at least on a track. Well, I